Louis Rossman said, change your profile to Clippy. I am serious. So everyone has been running this Clippy image. I have absolutely don't know what is going on. So let's go and check this out.
The Facebook whistleblower hearings with Senator Josh Hawley a few months back. One of the elements that stuck out to me was when they were talking about how if an underage girl has deleted a selfie, Meta keeps track of this because they know that this person likely has low self-esteem at that moment that they deleted a picture of themselves, which means that they may be more apt to purchase something from an advertiser of a cosmetic product. And I think about this within the context of what companies used to get in trouble for and what they do, or more importantly, don't get in trouble for today. I grew up in the 90s.
By the way, Black Mirror, great taste.
A time when Microsoft had hell and fury fall down upon them because they bundled a web browser with their operating system. Whether you think this is a good idea or not, I personally think that a web browser being installed in every single person's computer that's standards non-compliant, that is so bad that you can literally get a virus from visiting a website, has its problems. But when you look at what it is that companies got in trouble for in the 90s, it just doesn't hit the same when you look at what companies get away with now. I remember having a Dell Dimension 233 back in the day, and if you wanted to get the one that had slightly better graphics, they would give you a free installation of Microsoft Office. And with Microsoft Office,
does any of you guys know Louis Rossman? This guy. Press 1 in the chat if you do.
Office back in the day, it came with Clippy. Whether or not you like Clippy and whether or not you liked Microsoft Office,
it was
or having
an
an operating
the first
system
assistant
that had the browser built into it that could easily get you a virus when you visited other websites that were trying to invade your privacy, the one thing that you could say, unlike Facebook, who is trying to profit off of young girls that feel suicidal, Clippy simply wanted to help. He might have been annoying, but he just wanted to help. There were no ulterior motives. If you told Clippy that you were having a bad day, he wasn't going to use that information to try and figure out which advertiser to sell you to, nor was he trying to steal your personal data or get you to purchase other Microsoft products. He had no ulterior motives. He was simply there to help. Unlike many modern pieces of software.
So now Facebook is using like his chatbot and everything to try to feed the advertisements information that you might have like a certain issue. Wow, like we're getting, Jesus Christ.
Like what you get from Adobe, next level. Into it, where you can't buy QuickBooks anymore. You can't buy a video editor anymore. You have to pay a subscription fee for it. If I were to boot up that computer that has not been used for 28 years and I wanted to start up Microsoft Word, I could do so without connecting to the internet. And Clippy would still be there, happy and as enthusiastic as ever, simply wanting to help. Adobe is another example of this. This is a company that tried to twist people's arms into having AI and machine learning stuff go through their personal data. Not public data, not the speeches that I give, not my website or my blog posts or my videos.
It's actually getting into a good point because back in the day, most of these programs, they were all run based locally. Now, like if you want to run Photoshop, you got to have like this cloud service. Like if you want to run like even the Office, the Microsoft Office is always connected. Like everything feels like it's the same way we have only live service games most of the times nowadays. They are like completely obsessed by that. And I think the way and the reason why they do it is because they want to try to avoid piracy.
My private data, the stuff that I'm editing, and there were people that were not able to get into their account until they agreed to this new end user license agreement. When they are looking for access to your data, they're doing so because they want to train an AI on how to do what you do without paying you, without your consent. Clippy simply wanted to help. When Clippy would ask you if you wanted help with writing your letter, Clippy wouldn't even read the contents of your letter. He just wanted to offer suggestions. Game of Thrones had, I'm not going to spoiler alert, there's this Sons of the Harpy in season 5. They were these people that wore masks and they pushed back against the new regime. And the purpose of the mask was to let the leaders know that when you see people with this mask, we are against you and your new regime, and we are going to push back against it as often as we can. And the worry with the Sons of the Harpy mask is that it starts with one person putting the mask on. And then somebody else gains the balls to put the mask on. And then 20 or 40 or 100 of them put the mask on. And once 100 or 1,000 of them put the mask on, there's nothing that the leaders can do at that point. Enough people have put it on, and enough people have come together with solidarity. And they're going to do something about it. Now, granted, this may not be the best analogy because, spoiler alert, they were trying to bring back slavery, and they also were just bad people. Khaleesi kind of became a shitbag at that point, too. But besides, I think that Clippy is like a modern-day Sons of the Harpy mask.
So that's why he's asking everybody to go and use the Clippy in the profile image. Because I have seen this has gone viral. I've seen multiple people on the Reddit and also on social, like on YouTube comments, everywhere.
If you're tired of companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale and getting away with it, turn your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of companies that have the ability to reach into your house and ransomware your products so that they stop working unless you pay them again, claiming that that's legal, but then when somebody tries to give you back access to what you bought and paid for, that's illegal, change your profile photo to a Clippy. If you're tired of sex bots invading the comment section on a regular basis and their comments always posting with no problem, but your comments being censored even when you're not saying anything that bad, change your profile picture to a Clippy. If Google, being one of the premier data mining companies,
I am still not big enough to get these OnlyFans chat sex bots on my YouTube comment section. I feel like in the day that I post a video and I'm gonna get like all of these bots coming into it, I think it's the day that we made it on YouTube, guys. Like, honest truth. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna like, the engagement is gonna be to the roof.
On Earth, not being able to tell that little fucking cat with 2 pillows next to it that they try to make look like an ass so that thirsty young men click it as they normalize sex trafficking on the platform that doesn't allow you to express an opinion bothers you, change your profile picture to a Clippy and let them know that you're not happy. Clippy never tried to normalize sex trafficking. He just wanted to help. If you're tired of companies saying out loud that the reason they want to keep you from fixing what you bought and paid for is that may take money away from them, change your profile photo to a Clippy. I never expected to win the legislative battle. It would be nice if I did, but it was never something that I set as I need to do this or I'm a failure. What I always hoped to do was win the cultural battle, where all of you understand what's going on and you decide that enough is enough. If I ever have a chance in my personal life to push back against this, I will. You're maybe not going to send that email that you're supposed to send to Interso to tell them, oh, by the way, make sure this chip doesn't end up on Mouser.com. Here's an NDA, blah, 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 supplier agreement. Maybe you just forget to send that email. When there's a new consumer rights law that the senator that you work for is on the fence about supporting, and there's a lobbyist that's going to be against it that wants to have dinner, whoops, maybe their invitation went to spam. I didn't see that. Sorry, boss. Maybe you quit before you create a fake paywall to test if your customers will pay again for what they already paid for. Or maybe when you...
Like, this guy, if you guys... I'm just going to give some context because many of you guys are like, why am I watching this, right? Like, I can understand that I have this feeling that a lot of you guys are asking. Like, this guy, it is pro-consumer. And basically, he worked in tech for a long time. And is against like these corporate malpractices. Not only, for example, they try to scam you whenever you try to repair something. They make, for example, Apple. If you try to repair your MacBook, it's a disgrace. It's so hard to repair. They're gonna have to almost force you to go into their factory all the time. You cannot self-repair. There's no self-repair. There's another things, for example, when it comes to the memberships, right? Like the subscriptions on the Netflix is going all over the place. There's many others examples that he does that these companies are just completely abusing the law, and the consumers, we cannot do anything about it.
Send out that ransomware firmware update, you make it opt-in instead of opt-out. Whoopsie, if in some bizarro world it is actually illegal to make a thermostat work again, and this bastard of a CEO decides to try and get the individual in trouble, 10 cases to prosecute, only got time for 6. Maybe I just ignore this one. When a company CEO logs into their Slack and sees 10,000 Clippies looking back at them, what I hope occurs is that they intuitively understand that they no longer live in a world where they can get away with fucking over the consumer. That they're...
You think... Okay. Do you guys think that putting the Clippy picture on your Slack, on your YouTube, will change anything? Like, genuinely. I'm genuinely asking if you guys think that is gonna change anything. Because I highly doubt, right? I highly doubt. I feel like probably just gonna be a trend. People will just move on from it. They will change for the memes. And maybe they support, but I don't know. If I was a corporate, I don't know if I will actually do it.
Employees, their partners are not going to be accomplices to this anymore, that they are alert and they are aware of what is going on, and they are going to politely but firmly push back against it. Every single one of those 10,000 people will be an obstacle to the anti-consumer practices and the anti-ownership practices, and it will no longer be another cog in the assembly line sending us all into a dystopia. There will be a moment where that one person who usually would not have a say in anything can be activated, and in that moment, keep the world from sliding further into a dystopia, or help push it forward in the opposite direction. But we all have to get together. And the first step is making it public that we know what's going on. That starts with a Clippy. On YouTube, if you're with me, I ask that you change your profile picture to a Clippy. At work, change your Slack profile picture to a Clippy. If you work at the White House, don't take down the United States flag, but somewhere on the grounds, put up a
Put the Clippy on the flag
of a Clippy. Clippy is a symbol that what used to be considered one of the worst annoyances in our life would now not only be welcomed, but for all of his flaws, celebrated as an idol. Because for all of these things that occur right now where there is negative malice of intent, I want to take away what you own. I want to take this back. I want to get your data. I want to sell you to an advertiser when I know that you're crying. Clippy just wanted to help. And if you were to turn him on today, unlike most cloud bullshit, he'd still work. Hulu Foundation is going to be announcing the winners to both the Future Home Bounty and the Echelon Bikes Bounty within the next month. Us offering 5,000 here, 20,000.
We all Clippies, boys. We all Clip. Now I got to know. Okay, I was extremely curious to understand what was this Clippy about, okay? That's what really I wanted to understand, because like it's been like literally all over the place, and like on the Reddit, on YouTube, and I was like, man, what the hell is going on?